So I would just first like to ask all your names. Please tell your names. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please introduce yourself. So today is the first class. I hope you can see the board comfortably, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please introduce yourself. So who is the first one who would like to introduce himself?
Mm,
Sudip Chakraborty, I can see Sudip Chakraborty. So please say yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then Devanshu Roy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Rajdeep. Rajdeep what?
yes, sir.
No, Rajdeep, what is your surname?
Bhor.
Okay. And who is the other one? Shagnik Mondol.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is a course about mathematical methods, and
Mm,
this course will be partly taught to you by আমার কাছে ফোন আমার কাছে নেই, আমি অফিসে রেখে এসেছি। আমি বেশিক্ষণ নেব না, কারণ আমার মেইন ক্লাস আছে আজকে 12টা থেকে মেইন ক্লাস। আমি ধরো 20 মিনিট মতো নেবো ওদের, দিয়ে আমি ছেড়ে দেবো। তুমি একটু অভিজিৎ এখানে থেকো না। ওকে ওকে, ঠিক আছে। 214। Okay, so this will be a course which will be taught by two persons to you, and this will be taught to you by Professor Robin Banerjee, and he will be starting. Actually, today he is not there; he is not present, so that is why I have come to take the class. I will just give a very small introduction to you, and then leave you today. So this is a course. All of you, I think you know that this is a course on mathematical methods, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
On mathematical methods, and the topics which are there in mathematical methods are group theory, complex variable analysis, and some elements of linear vector spaces, which is very important in the context of quantum mechanics. Linear vector spaces are very important, so you need to know about these structures, algebraic structures, which are very important in physics, and also there will be complex variable analysis, which will be taught by me later on. Today I am just taking the class, but later for the subsequent classes I will not be there. I will be taking your classes after some time. Maybe after the pujas, I will take your class, and I shall be teaching you some complex variable analysis. So let me start with a very brief introduction today. So I hope you have some understanding of complex variables, right? You know something about complex variables, right? So the main thing that you have in complex variable analysis is the following. You know what complex numbers are, right? So complex numbers are basically, you can denote a complex number. This is visible. This side is visible. So if you cannot see something, please tell me. So complex numbers is basically, you can represent a complex number in this way, where z is a complex number and x and y, these are real numbers, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So x and y are real numbers, and z is a complex number. And why z is a complex number? Because you see that here we have a I sitting here, and this I is basically nothing but the square root of -1. So you know that if you take, say, 4, the number 4, and if you take a square root of that, you will get ±2. But if instead you have taken, if you take -4 and square root, then the answer will not be plus minus 2. Rather, it will be 2i. Okay. So this I is an imaginary number. So this is something important in complex variables. So all these things are complex numbers, and you know that you can represent. So x and y are real numbers, right? So now if I write x as, say, r cos theta and y as r sin theta, if you do this and you can just put it over here, then what you will get is z is equal to r. R will be common from both these things, and therefore you can write this as r cos theta plus I sin. So this is how you can write the same complex number. These were two real numbers, x and y. And now you take x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. And you can find out how r and theta are related to x and y. This can be done very easily, because if you just square it up, and add both sides and add these two, then what you will get is r square cos square theta plus sin square theta, which is 1. Therefore, r is nothing but x square plus y square. So this is one thing. So this is how r is related to x and y, the real numbers x and y. And if I just take a ratio of this with this, I divide this by this, then I will get y by x is equal to tan theta, and therefore theta is basically tan inverse of y by x. Okay? Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can now see that x and y were two real numbers, and x and y, if I make a transformation like this, x is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta, then this r gets related to x and y by this equation, and the theta gets related to x and y by this relation. So this is something important. And you can write down z, the complex number z, as r cos theta plus I sin theta. Now, do you have any idea what this thing is? What is this thing? What is cosine
Exponential function
theta? Exponential of what?
I theta.
of theta, I theta.
Very good. So this is basically e to the power of I theta. So if this is e to the power of I theta, therefore you can write this as, so any complex number z can be written as r e to the power of I theta. This I hope all of you know, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. But do you know why cosine theta plus I sin theta is e to the power of I theta? Do you know how to derive this relation? This is something very important. Do you know why this is equal to this? Can you
we can
prove it? Huh?
So we can expand in series cos theta and sin theta.
Okay, you will expand what? This thing.
Cos theta and sin theta both.
Okay, you can do it in this way, but this will be a longer way. But definitely you can do it. You can do it in this way also. You can try. You can take e to the power of I theta and expand this in a exponential series. And if you expand this in an exponential series, then you can recast it. The terms you can recast it as cos theta plus I sin theta. So you can start from this and show this. You can start from this and you can show this. Either way around, you can do it. But there is a nice way of proving this result. So let us take y is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. Okay? Let us take this. y is equal to I cos theta plus I sin theta. And let us just differentiate this. If I differentiate this dy d theta, then this will be equal to cos theta is basically minus sin theta, and this is I cos theta, right? Sin theta, if you differentiate, you will get cos theta. Now, what you can do is, you can take a I common, and this will become I cos theta. You can take the I common, so this becomes I cos theta, and this will become I sin theta. Is it okay? So you can write minus sin theta plus I cos theta as I cos theta plus I sin theta by taking the I factor common. But this is equal to I cos theta plus I sin theta is y. That is what we had taken to be. So this is Iy, right? Therefore, dy d theta is equal to Iy. So you have now a differential equation. This is a first order differential equation. So we can solve it. So dy by y is equal to I d theta, right?
Yes, sir.
And therefore you can now integrate this. If you integrate this, this will be log y, that will be equal to I theta plus some constant c, integration
Yes.
constant. And we have to fix this constant c. So let us see what happens when theta is equal to 0. If theta is equal to 0, then what happens to y? Cos 0 is 1 and sin 0 is 0, right? Therefore, y
Yes.
theta is equal to 0 is equal to 1. So you just put this condition over here. This will give us what? Log of y, log of 1, because at theta is equal to 0, this term is not there. And at theta is equal to 0, y is 1. Therefore, log 1 is equal to c. But what is log 1? ln of 1?
0.
ln. This implies that c is equal to 0. The integration constant is 0. And therefore, this thing drops out. And therefore, y is basically exponential e to the power I. So this is how you can show that y, which is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta, this expression is basically e to the power of I theta. This is a very nice way of proving this result. I hope this is clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Today this is a very introductory class. I hope you know these things, but still it will be nice if you just keep these things in mind before you start real complex variable analysis. So now let us prove a nice result, a direct consequence. So we have this result, right? Cosine theta plus I sin theta is equal to e to the power of I theta. And now let us set in this equation that we have proved just now, let us set theta is equal to pi. Okay, and see what happens. If I set theta is equal to pi, then cosine pi is what? It is minus 1. Sin pi is 0. Therefore, this is e to the power of I pi. And therefore, this implies that e to the power of I pi plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is, as you see, that this is a very beautiful result. Why beautiful? Because you see in one equation, this is like an equation, or you can say that this is an identity, whatever you like. You see, you have the exponential, you have the imaginary number, you have pi, you have 0, you have 1. Everything encoded in one equation. So this is a very nice identity that you have. Number one. Another very nice result is the following. Cos theta plus I sin theta whole to the power of n. Do you know what this expression is? cosine theta plus I sine theta whole to the power of n.
De Moivre's identity.
Yes, but what is the result? Very good. It is indeed De Moivre's result, De Moivre's identity. But what is this expression equal to?
Cosine theta plus I sine n theta.
Cosine
Very-
theta plus I sine.
Very good. So cos n theta plus I sine n theta. And how do you show this result? It is very easy to show this result by using this result. If you did not know about this thing, that this expression is equal to e to the power of I theta, then this would have been a little bit difficult to show. But once you know this correspondence, it is immediately at once you can show that this is equal to this. Why? Because cos theta plus I sine theta is basically e to the power of I theta, and that is whole to the power of n. Whole to the power of n means this is e to the power of I n theta. So this is now your angle, right? This is phi. So e to the power of I n theta, and therefore this is equal to cos n theta plus I sine n theta once again by using this identity. So this result is immediate. De Moivre's theorem follows immediately from this thing, right? Oh, someone wants to admit. A new person has been admitted, right? Who is this? Okay. So, I hope you have a brief introduction today of what complex numbers are. So, this is not complex variable analysis. Devanshu Roy. Okay, Devanshu, you have joined, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So, this is a very brief introduction to what complex numbers are, and we have already learned about complex numbers in your higher secondary classes, but complex variable analysis is something more involved, which we shall learn in this course later on. But today, with this brief introduction, I would also like to tell you something about a little bit of first order differential equations, because this is also something very important. First order differential equations. All of you know how to solve these differential equations. It will be very important that you know this, how to solve it. So you must have learned how you solve dy dx plus dx y is equal to qx, right? All of you know how to solve this differential equation. I hope you can solve this differential equation. So this is a first order differential equation. Why first order? Because the derivative, this dy dx, is a first order derivative. And what is this a differential equation? Because the unknown that you have, it involves a differential, it involves a derivative in x. This x is the independent variable, and this is the dependent variable. So what we need to know is what is y of x. So this is your y that you need to find out, and this appears in a derivative. So that is why it is a differential equation, and this is a first order differential equation because the derivative is in first order in x. So this is ddx. Had it been d2y dx2, then this would be a second order differential equation. What are px and qx? P function of x and q function of x are some known functions. These are known functions of x. And you need to solve this differential equation. So how do you solve this differential equation? Do you have any idea of how to solve this differential equation?
We use the integrating factor.
Okay, what is the integrating factor?
It's the exponent of the function p integrated over dx.
Is the exponent of what?
The function p integrated over dx.
This is the integrating factor, right?
Yes, sir.
But do you know how to derive this? How do you know, given a differential equation, how, from where did this formula come about? This is something important that we must all know, and I hope that you have a fairly nice understanding of how this result comes. But let us just do it, because it is an introductory class today. So things will be more involved later on. So the way to derive this relation is you just multiply this differential equation by an unknown function r of x. So if you do that, we will get r of x, q of x. As I told you earlier, that px and qx are known functions of x. This is something very important. But rx here is not known. Okay. So what you do is you multiply this differential equation by some unknown function r of x, which I need to find out. That is my integrating factor. And I demand that when you multiply this by r of x, this left hand side, I can write it down as r of x into y of x. This is my demand. So I demand that you can write the left hand side, when you multiply this both sides by r of x, you can write the left hand side in this way. This is my demand. But this thing is basically nothing but dr dx y plus r dy dx, right? So this thing is basically this thing. Now you just compare this with this, so you can immediately see that this term and this term cancels away, and therefore you see that dr dx y is equal to r p y. Now y also cancels from both sides. Therefore, you have dr dx is equal to rp. This implies that dr by r is equal to p dx. Now you see that the unknown function with which we had multiplied this differential equation, which is r of x, satisfies a nice differential equation. And this differential equation, all of us know how to solve this. Just integrate both sides. This will be log r of x, and that is integral p dx. Plus there will be some constant of integration. You can keep it, you can throw it away for the time being. And therefore r of x is basically e to the power of integral p of x dx. The thing which you told just now, that the integrating factor is this, we have derived it in a very nice way. So this is how you derive the form of this integrating factor. Okay?
Yes.
So the books that I would suggest, so let us now talk about the books from which you should learn or read up things. For complex variable analysis, there are very good books which are devoted solely to complex variable analysis. But there are good books like Engineering Mathematics by Kreyszig, Erwin Kreyszig. This is a book which you can follow, Engineering Mathematics. And you can also read up mathematical methods of mathematical physics by Weber and Arfken. I hope you have heard about this book. And you can also read up some stuff about complex variable analysis, functional analysis from Denery and Krzyzewski. So this is also a very nice book. So you can get these books in the library once you come to the center in person. I hope that you have some books, some hard copies with you also. Any engineering mathematics book or any book for methods in mathematical physics, you can just look into. And complex variable analysis, as I said, you will get in any book on engineering mathematics or methods of mathematical physics. So you can get complex variable analysis there. Regarding group theory, Professor Banerjee may suggest you some book when he starts taking the classes. So group theory, there are very good books on group theory. One book is by A.W. Joshi. You can read up the book by Joshi. It's a book solely devoted to group theory for physicists. And linear vector spaces also, you can read up any book on methods in mathematical physics as well as engineering mathematics. You will get linear vector spaces there. So these are the topics that will be covered in your course, and I hope that you will have a nice journey through this course. And for today, I will close the class for today. From the next class, Professor Robin Banerjee will come and take your classes. And as I said, I shall be taking your classes after the pujas. I shall be starting with the complex variable analysis. Okay? So it is. Thank you very much for today. So let us close this session. And I hope that there are other classes for you, right? You have other classes also today. So please be online, and other professors will come and take your classes. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
পাঁচটা 20 মিনিট 25 মিনিট হয়েছে বলে 11টা 20